What's up, cool people? How's everybody doing? Um, yeah, another typical Thursday morning combo live stream recording session thing. So, um, not sure there's too much to update on as far as just personal things going on. I mean, there's some stuff I could talk about, but not really that necessary. And not really directly related to streaming and content stuff anyway. I will say though, just randomly, like, there's been some just slight issues with my computer, just kind of randomly happening here and there, like random different issues happening here and there that all seem to be, you know, happening since I installed the new RAM sticks in my computer. So if it continues to be a problem, or if it gets to the point of being a significant problem, I will definitely look into the arrangement of the RAM sticks and different things like that, just to see if that specific aspect of things is contributing more than I thought it would to some minor issues. Right now, the minor issue that I'm having, and it is indeed minor, but the scrolling wheel on my mouse just doesn't really seem to want to work. So, yeah, annoying, but there are ways to get around it. It's not that inconvenient. But, yeah, it's. I don't know. It did also cause my screen to just freeze at one point. Um, so yeah, that I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. For now, it's not a big enough issue to really say, "Oh yeah, I absolutely need to do something about this." Really, the only thing I would think to try and do in response to that is, uh, you know, change up the arrangement of the RAM sticks in my computer. Because I've heard that it might actually be better to stagger the sets between the slots. So, like, there's four slots in the. So, like, there's four slots in the computer for RAM sticks. And I've essentially heard that it's better to like have one set of RAM sticks in slots 1 and 3 and the other in slots 2 and 4 if you're going to have two different sets. I mean, they are mostly the same, though. It's just that one set is newer than the other. Um, but I don't know. Something I'll have to, keep in the back of my mind in case other issues arise. I will say though, since installing the new RAM sticks, I have had like zero issues with YouTube saying I don't have enough memory to show stuff and crashing in the middle of videos. I've had very few dropped frames in my streams. So, I mean, there's been good and bad. I'm not sure if the good is directly attributed to the RAM sticks, but by my best estimate, I don't see any other reason that it would have gotten better all of a sudden. But anyway, okay, enough rambling on about stuff. That was actually a bit of a cover while I kind of set up windows and whatnot for chat while I do the Bible study. See, now this will be a little bit annoying to not have, the mouse wheel scrolling, but oh well. Stuff happens. Anywho, So, with that out of the way, I suppose it's about time for some Bible study. Now, as far as this stream goes, I'm going to be looking at Judges 7 and 8 because I'm doing like 2 chapters a week to help keep up with, edited video upload schedule and whatnot. Since I publish those twice a week, I got to do at least 2 a week during the streams. But anyway, so let's see. Man, my throat's been a little bit off this morning. Just feels a little like, I got something in there, but hopefully that doesn't like completely ruin my throat and my voice by the time I wrap up the Bible study. Supposedly this water I'm drinking being cold doesn't help either. But warm water is not my thing. Anyway, okay. Enough rambling on. Suppose it's about time we get started. So here we go. Okay. So we're looking at Judges chapter 7 now. In the last chapter, Gideon was introduced as an important character, person who, I guess at this point is now considered judge in Israel. And let's just say he hasn't exactly been a shining example of strength and courage. Especially the courage part is a little lacking. Feels like he needs to test God on various things. And questions how he could even lead the people because he's from like the weakest clan in his tribe. And he's, quote, the least in his family. But anyway, we all know that God can work past, fears, doubts, and all that kind of stuff. So let's see how God winds up doing that as we continue along here in chapter 7. So here we go. So Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and his army got up early and went as far as the spring of Harod. The armies of Midian were camped north of them in the valley near the hill of Moreh. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many warriors with you. If I let all of you fight the Midianites, the Israelites will boast to me that they saved themselves by their own strength. Therefore tell the people, whoever is timid or afraid may leave this mountain and go home." So 22,000 of them went home, leaving only 10,000 who were willing to fight. That's over 2/3 of the people who were there who considered themselves too timid or afraid. Which, a little bit of fear is kind of understandable. You're only facing off against the people who have been essentially ruling over you and causing major issues for years. But at the same time, it's like, why would you volunteer for this if you were that afraid? I guess it was more so the motivation of wanting to help free the people from this, oppressive rule. But I don't know. Anyway, footnote there at mountain. The Hebrew says may leave Mount Gilead. The identity of Mount Gilead is uncertain in this context, perhaps used here as another name for Mount Gilboa. Okay. So, not 100% sure which mountain exactly is being mentioned here, but not that necessarily takes away from the broader story Because there are other, like, geographical context clues that don't necessarily leave it completely unknown where all this was happening. But anyway, so 22,000 soldiers went home, and there's 10,000 left. Then we get to verse 4. But the Lord told Gideon, "There are still too many. Bring them down to the spring, and I will test them to determine who will go with you and who will not." When Gideon took his warriors down to the water, the Lord told him, "Divide the men into 2 groups. In one group, put all those who cup water in their hands and lap it up with their tongues like dogs. In the other group, put all those who kneel down and drink with their mouths in the stream." Only 300 of the men drank from their hands. All the others got down on their knees and drank with their mouths in the stream. Okay, I'll just pause there for a little bit. So we've gone from 32,000 in total, down to 300. We're at less than 1% of the original forces, which, I mean, that's almost getting to the kind of odds we had described by Joshua near the end of that book in chapter 23. It's fresh in my mind because I, as of doing this, recently released a short video regarding that, where Joshua was saying, one person would put 1,000 of the enemy to flight. This is, bringing the odds down to 1% rather than the 0.1% that would be. But still, it's statistically, giving yourselves much less of a chance of completing this under your own strength. And that's the key part, under their own strength. Also, I've heard some different thoughts about why it would have been the men who, cup the water and drink it from their hands that were chosen. I don't know if there was a specific reason for it other than that there were so few of them. It does give an indication that those men either would have been more scared, but the ones who were scared already left, so that doesn't seem likely to me. Another possible explanation is that the men who would have, drank the water like that were kind of keeping a better eye on their surroundings and basically more prepared for an ambush or other sudden conflict. But again, I don't think that was the reason that God chose those men so much as it was just like, all right, well, now the numbers are way down low. This is how we're going to know that it's a God thing and not, just Israel's own strength saving them. All right. Getting to verse 7 now. And I might maybe provide a little less commentary from here on. Depends on what's said. Anyway. All right, verse 7. The Lord told Gideon, "With these 300 men I will rescue you and give you victory over the Midianites. Send all the others home." So Gideon collected the provisions and ram's horns of the other warriors and sent them home. But he kept the 300 men with him. The Midianite camp was in the valley just below Gideon. That night the Lord said, "Get up, go down into the Midianite camp, for I have given you victory over them. But if you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah. Listen to what the Midianites are saying, and you will be greatly encouraged. Then you will be eager to attack." So Gideon took Purah and went down to the edge of the enemy camp. The armies of Midian, Amalek, and the people of the east had settled in the valley like a swarm of locusts. Their camels were like grains of sand on the seashore, too many to count. Gideon crept up just as a man was telling his companion about a dream. The man said, I had this dream, and in my dream a loaf of barley bread came tumbling down into the Midianite camp. It hit a tent, turned it over, and knocked it flat. His companion answered, Your dream can mean only one thing. God has given Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite, victory over Midian and all its allies. Okay, I'm going to pause there. Didn't necessarily want to interrupt what was going on for a little bit there. Also, some of these, like, mid-verse paragraph breaks left me disinclined from stopping what I was reading. Anyway, so 300 men are going to go attack, actually, technically not just the Midianites, also the Amalekites and some other people, but point being, large armies consisting of multiple kingdoms and or people groups, I guess. But given the pattern that Gideon has shown God thus far of not exactly being very courageous, God still tells him, okay, look, I'm going to give you victory over them, but if you really want that extra little bit of assurance, because I know you've asked for that before, you and, I think, okay, he says your servant Purah. Servants, I mean, that role could be described as a couple of different things, really. But anyway, he's like, okay, if you're still not sure, you and Purah go down there, scout things out, get a little listen on what the enemy's saying, and you'll be encouraged by that, if you weren't already. So then they go down and they hear about this dream from one of the enemy soldiers that basically is interpreted as, you know, God giving Gideon victory over them. Which is interesting how just a random dream interpretation from a random dude somewhat plays an important role in this, because that's what gives Gideon encouragement. Or at least, supposedly, we haven't gotten that far yet. But I don't know if I would have necessarily interpreted the dream that way, but it also does make sense. I mean, a loaf of barley bread tumbling down into the camp and knocking a tent over. Like, that's, I could see how the interpretation of it makes sense, and I guess I wouldn't exactly come up with any other interpretation myself, just off the top of my head. So, But anyway, so all that happens, and then we get to verse 15. When Gideon heard the dream and its interpretation, he bowed in worship before the Lord. Then he returned to the Israelite camp and shouted, "Get up, for the Lord has given you victory over the Midianite hordes." I was about to read that as borders. Anyway. He divided the 300 men into 3 groups and gave each man a ram's horn and a clay jar with a torch in it. Why would the torch be in the clay jar? I don't know. That seems a little odd, but whatever. Also, footnote there at Lord says that's, as in Greek, Hebrew just reads he bowed. So it doesn't say he bowed in worship before the Lord. It just says he bowed. But why else would he be bowing? So I think that's really just there to make it more obvious what the likely reason for him bowing was. Anyway. So They've got ram's horns and clay jars with torches. Verse 17. Then he said to them, "Keep your eyes on me. When I come to the edge of the camp, do just as I do. As soon as I and those with me blow the ram's horns, blow your horns too, all around the entire camp, and shout, for the Lord and for Gideon." It was just after midnight, after the changing of the guard, when Gideon and the 100 men with him reached the edge of the Midianite camp. Suddenly they blew the ram's horns and broke their clay jars. Then all three groups blew their horns and broke their jars. They held the blazing torches in their left hands and the horns in their right hands, and they all shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." Okay, the sword part wasn't mentioned in Gideon's prior instructions, but whatever, details. So, blowing the horns, and they break the clay jars. It doesn't exactly specify how they got the torches lit, but maybe the torches were already lit within the jars. I don't know. Not an important detail. The fact of it being dark, though, is an important detail, because otherwise the torches would have done nothing. Hebrew says at the beginning of the second watch, rather than, just after midnight. But it does also specify here after the changing of the guard. So, whether or not it was just after midnight, it was whenever the nighttime guards would have been changing over. Pretty much. So, Gideon has 100 men with him, and then there's two other groups of 100 men at other spots around the camp. And then, of course, Gideon takes the lead in blowing the horn and, breaking the jars with the torches, and then the other groups follow suit. So then, verse 21. Each man stood at his position around the camp and watched as all the Midianites rushed around in a panic, shouting as they ran to escape. When the 300 Israelites blew their ram's horns, the Lord caused the warriors in the camp to fight against each other with their swords. Those who were not killed fled to places as far away as Beth-shittah near Zerera, and to the border of Abel-meholah near Tabbath. Names, anyway. Then Gideon sent for the warriors of Naphtali, Asher, and Manasseh, who joined in chasing the army of Midian. Gideon also sent messengers throughout the hill country of Ephraim, saying, "Come down to attack the Midianites. Cut them off at the shallow crossings of the Jordan River at Beth-barah." So all the men of Ephraim did as they were told. They captured Oreb and Zeb, the two Midianite commanders, killing Oreb at the rock of Oreb and Zeb at the winepress of Zeb. And they continued to chase the Midianites. Afterward, the Israelites brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon, who was by the Jordan River. So, the strategy here, which was God's strategy for being completely clear about this is not, you might think a human would come up with this, but a human would also tend to think more about a, backup plan in case it actually just, draws the enemy troops towards what's making the sound. But, so they blew the horns all around the camp, and basically that threw the enemy soldiers into a panic. A bunch of them started fighting each other. Others just ran away completely, trying to, save their lives. And then I guess other soldiers and warriors in the area that weren't with them, which were plenty, as we're well aware of. There were 30,000 of them. that had been, basically ruled out of this particular group, or whatever you want to call it. So basically, then Gideon called on other people, warriors, whoever in the area, to chase down any of the Midianites that were fleeing and just trying to, save their lives, to potentially come back and fight another day. Rather than letting them come back and fight another day, Gideon says, hey, look out for these people. And, yeah, let's not allow them to become a problem later. And then 2 of the commanders were killed, and their heads were brought to Gideon. And it doesn't say anything about there being peace in the land, so we're maybe not done with Gideon's story just yet. But that's all that we've got in chapter 7 here. Okay. So then we'll move on to chapter 8, which is even a little bit longer. But real quick, looking at it, still doesn't say that that's the end of Gideon's time as well. Maybe it doesn't. It's just not at the very end of the chapter. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I'll admit it is a little annoying, scrolling. Oh, hey, now the wheel's working. Why is the scrolling wheel working now? Like, what changed? I don't know. Oh, man. Anyway. All right. On with more Bible study. Okay, so now we're looking at Judges chapter 8, further continuing the story of Gideon. Thus far, Gideon was basically chosen as judge. He had some doubts. God put those to rest. God whittled down the fighting forces of, the troops that were with Gideon from like 30,000 down to 300. They surrounded the enemy camp at night, blew some horns, lit some torches, and the enemy just got thrown into a panic. And some of those who fled got chased down and were killed, including 2 Midianite commanders specifically. And that's where things are as we get into this chapter. So, here we go. Judges chapter 8. Then the people of Ephraim asked Gideon, "Why have you treated us this way? Why didn't you send for us when you first went out to fight the Midianites?" And they argued heatedly with Gideon. But Gideon replied, "What have I accomplished compared to you? Aren't even the leftover grapes of Ephraim's harvest better than the entire crop of my little clan of Abiezer? God gave you victory over Oreb and Zeb, the commanders of the Midianite army. What have I accomplished compared to that?" When the men of Ephraim heard Gideon's answer, their anger subsided. So, I'm a little confused. Okay, so they asked, why didn't you send for us when you first went out to fight the Midianites? Didn't he? I know there were multiple tribes that he asked for help from, but in any case, even if he had initially asked them for help, God had, as I earlier described, God had whittled down the forces of the troops with Gideon from like 30,000 down to 300. So, like, that was God doing his thing, and not so much Gideon. And I guess partially because of that, that also allows Gideon to say what he's saying here. He's like, what have I done? Like, you all have, killed these Midianite commanders. You brought their heads to me. I didn't do that. So why are you complaining to me? Possibly alluding to it being more God's doing than his. And even if there had been more men with him initially, God would have just whittled those troops down. So it's not like them being there initially would have made a difference in Gideon's approach, because that's how God planned it out. Anyway, verse 4. Gideon then crossed the Jordan River with his 300 men, and though exhausted, they continued to chase the enemy. When they reached Succoth, Gideon asked the leaders of the town, "Please give my warriors some food. They are very tired. I am chasing Zebah and Zalmunna, the kings of Midian." But the officials of Succoth replied, "Catch Zebah and Zalmunna first, and then we will feed your army." So Gideon said, "After the Lord gives me victory over Zebah and Zalmunna, I will return and tear your flesh with thorns and briars from the wilderness." Okay. It's not outright stated whether Succoth was a friendly town. And based on this interaction, it would seem like maybe not so much. Because, yeah, he's just asking for food for his warriors so they have, energy to continue chasing down the Midianite kings. Which, the fact that he would even ask them for help in this at least implies that this town wasn't friendly toward the Midianite kings. Because, otherwise that would have been a foolish request to begin with. But in any case, the officials say, "Nope, catch him first and then we'll feed you." So Gideon's like, "Fine, but y'all aren't doing me any favors, and because you're not doing me any favors, it's going to come back at you." Seemingly in a rather violent fashion. But anyway, I'll just move on to verse 8 here. From there, Gideon went up to Peniel and again asked for food, but he got the same answer. So he said to the people of Peniel, "After I return in victory, I will tear down this tower." Doesn't say what tower, but some significant tower in Peniel, I guess. Actually, let me look at the footnote there. Does that... Okay, Hebrew says Penuel, which is just a variant spelling in the same place. Doesn't describe what the meaning of it is. If the translation was something like tower or whatever, that would make more sense. So it could have been that Peniel was the tower, or just that there was a prominent tower in Peniel. Either way, looks like Gideon's going to have a bit of a revenge tour when all this is said and done. Anyway, verse 10. By this time, Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor with about 15,000 warriors, all that remained of the allied armies of the east, for 120,000 had already been killed. Gideon circled around by the caravan route east of Nobah and Jogbehah, taking the Midianite army by surprise. Zebah and Zalmunna, the two Midianite kings, fled, but Gideon chased them down and captured all their warriors. So, it doesn't report any particular losses of Israelite troops. We know that the group that was with Gideon was whittled down significantly, but that wasn't them dying. That was just them being removed from that particular spot, that particular, like, battle location or whatever. But those other men might have been involved in getting these 120,000 enemy warriors killed. I mean, those are still pretty significant odds. I mean, you've got 15,000 versus 300. Or at least, I mean, it says the 300 with Gideon went there and did this. It doesn't necessarily say for sure outright whether or not any other warriors joined them. But I'm just sticking with what we know for sure. And considering this many had already been killed, probably a great number of whom were, in the valley during that initial moment of, being surrounded by the blowing of the ram's horns and the torches. Like, I wouldn't assume the odds are even remotely worse. They are probably even better than they were before. So anyway, kings fled, but Gideon chased them down. Verse 13. After this, Gideon returned from the battle by way of Heres Pass. There he captured a young man from Succoth and demanded that he write down the names of all the 77 officials and elders in the town. Gideon then returned to Succoth and said to the leaders, "Here are Zebah and Zalmunna. When we were here before, you taunted me, saying, 'Catch Zebah and Zalmunna first, and then we will feed your exhausted army.' Then Gideon took the elders of the town and taught them a lesson, punishing them with thorns and briars from the wilderness. He also tore down the tower of Peniel and killed all the men in the town." So, yeah, there's the revenge tour. But it doesn't say that he killed the elders and officials in Succoth. It just says that he taught them a lesson, punishing them with thorns and briars. Does not say they died. Oh yeah, and the Tower of Peniel was torn down. Still doesn't say that they actually got fed yet. But anyway. Verse 18. Then Gideon asked Zebah and Zalmunna, "The men you killed at Tabor, what were they like?" "Like you," they replied. "They all had the look of a king's son." "They were my brothers, the sons of my own mother," Gideon exclaimed. "As surely as the Lord lives, I wouldn't kill you if you hadn't killed them." Turning to Jether, his oldest son, he said, "Kill them." But Jether did not draw his sword, for he was only a boy and was afraid. Then Zebah and Zalmunna said to Gideon, "Be a man, kill us yourself." So Gideon killed them both and took the royal ornaments from the necks of their camels. Okay, this whole thing that happened at Tabor wasn't really previously described. But, speaking of revenge, turns out that, these kings were kind of responsible for the losses of people close to Gideon. I mean, it says they were his brothers and mother. There's no particular reason to believe that that's, figurative. And if it was literal, it would be all the more reason for Gideon to want to get back at these kings. So, yeah, and we've already seen that Gideon is prone to revenge, and this would be all the more reason for some significant revenge. Anyway, so he asks his son to kill them, possibly to try and, like, it's possibly to try and, teach his son about being a warrior, possibly to try and, bring his son up as a potential next judge. Um, but in any case, his oldest son was too afraid because he was just a boy. So then, one last time, Zeba and Zalmunna end up taunting Gideon, and then he just kills them himself. Anyway, let me get a quick sip of water here. All right, so then verse 22. Then the Israelites said to Gideon, "Be our ruler. You and your son and your grandson will be our rulers, for you have rescued us from Midian." But Gideon replied, "I will not rule over you, nor will my son. The Lord will rule over you. However, I do have one request, that each of you give me an earring from the plunder you collected from your fallen enemies." The enemies, being Ishmaelites, all wore gold earrings. Ishmaelites, you say? So, like, descended from Abraham's other son, who was not Isaac, who was not the promised son, but, God still had a promise in mind for Ishmael because of him being Abraham's son. But anyway, I digress. So, I mean, that at least makes it clear that there was indeed conflict between those groups of people. Honestly, probably stemming back all the way from earlier on when there was conflict between Isaac and Ishmael themselves. But anyway, so the people asked Gideon to, be their ruler, kind of wanting to establish him as basically a king. But Gideon refuses because, well, doesn't exactly say why he refuses. It just says that he says the Lord will rule over you, which is how it was supposed to be anyway. So anyway, so he requests an earring. He requests an earring from each of them, whoever they are in this case. It just says the Israelites said to Gideon. It's not like a specific subset within them that it describes. So not entirely certain. But anyway, Gideon asks for gold earrings, or he asks for the earrings, which happen to be gold. Anyway. And then verse 25. "Gladly," they replied, in terms of giving him the earrings. They spread out a cloak, and each one threw in a gold earring he had gathered from the plunder. The weight of the gold earrings was 43 pounds, not including the royal ornaments and pendants, the purple clothing worn by the kings of Midian, or the chains around the necks of their camels. Gideon made a sacred ephod from the gold and put it in Ophrah, his hometown. But soon all the Israelites prostituted themselves by worshipping it, and it became a trap for Gideon and his family. Interesting. So Gideon made a sacred ephod, but like, why would he have made that? It's not exactly outright stated that he had a noble purpose for this. Because for a little bit of context, I mean, an ephod was also the kind of thing that the priests wore when carrying out their duties as priests, you know, handling the sacrifices, offerings, and that kind of stuff. Basically doing all the rituals of the tabernacle at this point. So, interesting, he would have wanted to make something similar to that, but also made it out of gold. I don't know if that used up all 43 pounds of the gold that it says was, you know, the collection from all the earrings. But anyway. Plus, then there were also the royal ornaments and pendants, the purple clothing of the kings, and the chains from the camels' necks. That's getting into the Hebrew measurement, which was 1,700 shekels, estimated to be about 19.4 kilograms, or roughly 43 pounds. Which, I mean, for earrings to add up to that many pounds is quite a bit. If it were in a different form, that might not seem like so much, because just like, you know, your classic gold bars that you typically associate with like Fort Knox or whatever, like those, you'd really only need, I mean, I don't know exactly how much those weigh, but I can't imagine it'd take much more than one or two of those to get up to 43 pounds. But anyway, so he makes this ephod thing, and that actually winds up causing issues because they wind up worshiping the ephod that he makes. So anyway, verse 28, and I'll probably wrap up the chapter. Anyway, that is the story of how the people of Israel defeated Midian, which never recovered. Throughout the rest of Gideon's lifetime, about 40 years, there was peace in the land. Then Gideon, son of Joash, returned home. He had 70 sons born to him, for he had many wives. He also had a concubine in Shechem, who gave birth to a son, whom he named Abimelech. Gideon died when he was very old, and he was buried in the grave of his father Joash at Ophrah in the land of the clan of Abiezer. As soon as Gideon died, the Israelites prostituted themselves by worshipping the images of Baal, making Baal Berith their god. They forgot the Lord their God, who had rescued them from all their enemies surrounding them. Nor did they show any loyalty to the family of Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, despite all the good he had done for Israel. So this time it's not even, all right, there was peace in the land for like 40 years or 20 years or whatever. It was just, all right, Gideon's dead, and like any semblance of following God just goes. Granted, if they were like worshiping an ephod that Gideon had made already before that, like, I can't say that's too surprising. Footnote there at Gideon, Hebrew says Jerubbaal. Gotcha. So he returned home, had a ton of sons, and died when he was old. And yeah, as soon as Gideon died, the Israelites prostituted themselves by worshiping the images of Baal. I'm not sure what exactly is with Baal Berith, other than either that was like kind of a localized thing, or like, I mean, obviously it was some sort of offshoot of Baal worship, or I don't know. But in any case, like, same kind of stuff that had tripped them up before Gideon they're right back to it. Because it was a statue or maybe an altar to Baal or something like that that Gideon had torn down. And the fact that he was called Jerubbaal, you would think would have made it all the more obvious that, like, they shouldn't have gone back to that, but I don't know, whatever. People are dumb back then and today. And, you know, we have bad habits that we don't often get rid of easily. So anyway, that is going to do it for Chapter 8, and I guess that wraps it up for the story of Gideon. Okay, yeah, let me check my phone real quick. Nothing super important there. Okay. So now it is about time that I move things on over to the gaming setup. Just give me a little time to get that figured out. Actually, let me go ahead and start booting up Assassin's Creed, and then I can have that showing on the screen while... Actually, before I do that, real quick, I want to kind of sound check my recordings, because I had some issues with that from last week's stream, although it was more so after the Bible study portion was done that I started having issues. Not sure what happened exactly last time, but for some reason, like, between doing the Bible study and the gaming part of last week's stream, the sound from my microphone got way quieter. And I couldn't really tell until I started editing the videos after the fact. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and boot up Assassin's Creed, shift things over to that scene without my webcam while I shift my setup around a little bit. Okay. Shifting of setup is basically done. Man. I do kind of want to double check sound output to streams though. Especially the sound coming from my microphone, since that was the issue last time around. So, it seems to be fine going to YouTube. Twitch is a little bit behind for some reason. But it should catch up. Well, not catch up, but should get to a point where I could hear myself in a little bit. Yeah, it seems fine as far as I could tell. Okay. Yeah. I think we're all good on that. So anything that I record now should hopefully not have a lack of
When you are
microphone
exposed, use
volume.
sharp turns or climb over buildings to break your pursuer's line of sight.
You'll see in a few weeks when those edits come out, but like, I basically had to triple the volume of my recordings just to be able to reasonably hear myself in them. But the game volume was still like unaffected within the recording, so that also jacked the game volume up really high. Which is the primary reason I didn't turn up the volume from the recording even higher. Because I don't need people's, like, eardrums bleeding just because there was some technical difficulty. If there was a way to, like, just separate the audio or whatever, or, like, separate the different audio inputs or outputs or whatever, like, I would maybe try and do that, but especially while streaming, I'm not sure that's really... I think that's an easier said than done kind of thing. Anyway, so I'm back in Acre, and I definitely had left things outside of the town last week, or left things off, I should say, outside of the town last week, but now it's just taking me straight back to the Assassin's Bureau. Whatever. Saves me a little time, I guess. Alright. Let me get going with this, and hopefully... Oh, you know what? Let me also grab my TV remote, turn up the volume a little bit so I can hear what's going on slightly better. But yeah, otherwise, we'll get into it. And the gameplay will give me a bit of an excuse to stop talking so much. My throat's getting a little sore, if I'm honest. Anyway, here we go. Alright. So, we're back in Acre. I was definitely outside of the town when I finished playing last time, but it just automatically brought me back here because there's nothing else that would really need to happen in between. So,
Rafik.
Word has spread of your deeds, Altair. It seems you are sincere in your desire to redeem yourself.
I do what I can.
And sometimes you do it well. I assume it is work that reunites us?
Yes. William of Montferrat is my target. What can you tell me of the man himself?
William has been named regent while the king conducts his war. The people see it as a strange choice given the history between Richard and William's son Conrad. But I think Richard rather clever for it.
Clever how?
Richard and Conrad do not see eye to eye on most matters. Though they are civil enough in public, there are whispers that each intends evil upon the other. And then, there was that business with Acre's captured Saracens. In its wake, Conrad has returned to Tyre, and Richard has compelled William to remain here as his guest.
You mean his hostage?
Whatever you wish to call it, William's presence here should dissuade Conrad from acting out.
I've never been one for politics.
But surely you realize your every action shapes the course of this land's future. You are a politician too, in your own way.
As you wish. Now where would you suggest I begin my search?
Richard's Citadel, southwest of
I
here.
gotta say, for a while I wasn't exactly
The market in front of it.
paying too much of
Find the
attention
cathedral of the
to
Holy Cross in that direction as well. It's a
kind of the
popular
story
place and should be
context of
filled
what
with
was going on in each city.
Finally, try the
But
border
yeah.
to the west, where the chain and hospitality.
Definitely some
That should start you on your way.
political
Very well. I won't disturb
power
you.
moves going
No trouble
on,
at all.
at least in this particular place. Okay, so I guess I'm good to go elsewhere. I should have listened a little closer to what he said as far as where I should go. Well, it looks like I'm either going to go south or east. And south would be roughly that way. And if I cannot go south, then I'll know that I'm supposed to go east instead.
Leave, peasant.
What? What's the problem? Anyway, that wasn't exactly what I meant to do, but whatever. Okay, so it seems like I'm gonna be able to go south. Yeah, I'm kind of already within the rich district. So, okay, that wasn't exactly what I meant to do. Didn't even realize there was a ladder there, but sure. Are there any viewpoints nearby? That looks like a viewpoint, but it's not shown as such. Well, maybe. Let's try climbing up.
It's forbidden for you to be here.
Well, great. And synchronize, okay. Now at least I get a little bit more of the map. Oh, hey, and that revealed all the other viewpoint locations in the Rich District. Yay. That is helpful. Alright, I'm gonna go down in here, but it's immediately gonna force me out of it. Because I have been spotted. Eh, jeez, I got people firing arrows and stuff at me. Ah, come on. Oh, is that a Templar? Maybe that was the problem. Templars do tend to cause me some troubles in this game. Still not letting me go up. Can I go up here? Maybe? Yeah, okay. Synchronize. I'm doing a lot of stuff while still being kind of closely watched here. Okay. Ooh, that also revealed an investigation. But first things first. Let me make myself anonymous again. Or maybe not. I don't know. Alright, well. Be gone. Okay. Oh, hello. Goodbye to that guy. Anyone else? Yes. Multiple others, in fact. Okay, he's gone. But more have shown up. Doggone it. Oh well. At least I'm fighting the ones that are here decently enough that I'm, like, not really getting myself into significant trouble. Okay. Can I talk to the citizen I have saved, please?
Saved me. All the city will know of your sacrifice.
Okay. And vigilantes. Good. Now what? Guess I'll head over this way to do a pickpocketing thing. Alright, well, that was quite a bit of action early on there. It seems like things have settled down a bit now. I need to go in there, don't I? Alright, can I climb up outside of this here? Yeah. I don't need you causing me any problems. Now how, pray tell, might I get down? Well, okay, that's not what I had in mind, doggone it. I am quite close to my pickpocketing target. I'm just not sure exactly where they are. Pickpocket. Oh, okay. Looks like it's those guys. It's just I didn't have the right one in my view.
Come and go as you please. I thought the fortress was closed to all.
Aye, but William wishes to have repairs completed as soon as possible. It's been to our advantage.
They're perfect cover. It's clever.
Anyway, I've finished my report and should deliver it.
For once, it seems things might go our way, and not by accident.
Well, the Bible does say God helps those who help themselves.
Nah, it doesn't, actually. That's from one of Aesop's fables. The Bible says quite the opposite, in fact. Many passages of being patient and faithful and waiting for the Lord to decide if he wishes to assist.
I like this conversation.
I say we've waited long enough.
You'll hear no argument from me.
Very well, I'm off then.
Yeah, the Bible does not in fact say that God helps those who help themselves. There is absolutely nothing within the Bible that is worded like that. Okay. Forgotten structure can pose as a potential entrance. Okay. Cool. Now what? I guess more viewpoints? That seems to be the closest one. Or at least I don't know. It's potentially the closest. I'm working on leaving. Just give me a moment to actually do so. Okay. Now I'm trying to work my way to that viewpoint that I just highlighted. Well, I've got one of the necessary 3 investigations done. I'm not going to be able to jump across all this stuff, am I? Maybe if I go around this way. I figure since I'm already on the rooftops, I might as well stay on the rooftops. That might then make it easier to scale the viewpoint that I'm going for. Well, that wasn't what I was hoping for. My viewpoint seems to be directly over that way. So maybe I should go around the front of this building. Or at least what I would think is the front. Oh. It seems the top of this building itself might actually be the viewpoint I'm going for. Which isn't exactly surprising.
And what do we have to show for it? Graves and widows and orphaned sons? King Richard promised.
So the question is, how do I climb up there?
But he delivered only death. And what do we have to show
Yeah, I'm like, I doubt it'll be
orphaned sons? King Richard promises
as easy as one of these
spoil land and new beginnings. But he delivered
kind of
only death.
pillars or whatever sticking out here.
It's our way to end our pain. It's him we should follow. It's him will lead us to victory.
Okay, that could be something.
Cast them out of Acre and push them from the countryside. Now they retreat.
Nope. There. And then up here, yeah.
For none can withstand the might of King Richard's army. He is graced by God. It is only a matter of time, friends, before all the land is ours once
Can't go up any higher from there. Okay. What are you doing, Altair? Oh my gosh, and the camera angle was like stuck for a second there too. Fine. Let me just drop down. See if I could... No. There's got to be somewhere around here that I could climb, right? Okay. I got up a little higher, but still not really that far. Definitely kind of wishing I had the ability to go further. Seems like a bit of a risky move to jump off of the corner there, but I don't know if this is really any better, since I can't seem to scale the windows. Oh, come on. It's not going to let me go around the corner there either. What the heck? Sending this viewpoint is becoming a far more arduous task than I thought it would be. And what? Ah, come on. Sure, that part I can climb down just fine. Ouch. Alright, well, what the heck? How am I supposed to get up there then? Alright, so I'm up here. It looks almost like there should be places to grab onto on the sides of those, but I guess not. Oh, come on. See, and that looks a lot like the one other side of the building that it wouldn't really let me climb up either. So what in the world? How do I ascend this building? Oh, hey, flag. Maybe over here? I don't know, man. Alright, whatever. Going for it. That was a bad idea. Ouch! Okay, but how do I... Of course, it really doesn't help that I'm just having a hard time seeing most of what's here.
Poisonous words meant to sow the seeds of confusion.
This place is too dark
Feel yourself tempted. Go and
for how bright it is outside.
ask God for direction.
Which I realize that's not necessarily the game's fault. Save citizen.
Elender Dieb, wie wir sterben, was willst du?
No, thank you. What the? I'm like, okay, please actually kill a dude this time. Go away. What the heck? Some of the things that happen during the combat don't make a ton of sense. It's like I'm pretty darn sure I press the right buttons and it doesn't do the right thing. Okay. They're dead. There's the citizen I've saved.
You came along when you did. Another minute and they'd have made off with me. I owe you my freedom, String.
More vigilantes. Okay, but for real, how do I ascend the building that I'm trying to climb to get the freaking viewpoint?
I'll be with you to the end.
Can I maybe climb up here? And then have that give me a better angle.
You're not supposed to be here. Leave. It's forbidden for you to be here.
Now who sees me? What?
You have no business here. Leave.
The old man's gonna cry.
Where's the one responsible for this?
There's another flag down there. I guess I could at least get that while I'm otherwise just meandering around.
You're somewhere you shouldn't be. Leave before you get hurt.
I would assume this side of the building is much like the opposite side, so how would that help me? Seemingly, it wouldn't. That's not what I was trying to do. I was hoping to actually get on top of that structure, not... Some of the little things that are happening right now are so very annoying, with seemingly no good reason for it. That's what I wanted to actually climb up.
It's forbidden for you to be here.
Oh. Hello. Oh. That wasn't at all what I expected. Although I guess maybe I would have had to lock onto him first to actually throw the throwing knife. I don't know. Okay, but seriously, how do I get up here? Oh, screw you guys.
And what do we have to show? Wives and widows and orphan sons, King Richard promised spoil land and new beginnings, but it's delivered only death.
Oh, acquired one knife. So those guys are how I get the throwing knives? That's weird. Definitely didn't expect that to be the case. Oh well. Okay. So I can climb that reasonably enough. Is this really where I'm supposed to... Okay, but now it's stopping me there. Why? Why can't I go up any higher than that? It makes no logical sense at all. Okay. Can I... No. Freaking heck. There's a bunch of stuff that it seems like it should work, but then it doesn't. Interrogation. Oh, hey, yeah. Interrogation. Well, even if I don't get the viewpoint, I can still progress the broader mission.
If you would only listen. Stand up, friends. Do not allow yourself to be sent to slaughter based on the whims and wishes of an uncertain king. We must rely on men who are stronger in their convictions. Men like William of Montferrat.
Take yourself from here before I call the guard.
I'm not trying to cause any trouble yet. I just happen to be right where you were going. Okay. So I'm supposed to tail the guy until, you know, he gets somewhere a little more secluded. Probably. I don't like some of these dudes floating around that look like they're ready to give me a knuckle sandwich.
They refuse to accept him as their savior. These men hold evil in their hearts. And so blessed Richard, king and
Oh, geez, really?
now stands against them, defending us from their wicked ways.
That looks like it could potentially be another interrogation.
The Saracens are routed at every turn. We cast them out of Acre.
Which, if that's the case, then maybe I don't need to get the viewpoints. Alright. Oh, we're potentially getting somewhere more secluded.
How about you turn around and go away?
Still too many people around here. I'm about ready to just start punching the dude anyway, but I'm not sure that would work out very well for me. As things are. But it's not like he's going to anywhere less secluded at the moment, so you know what? Screw it. Oh, come on. Hey, I got another knife. Or at least now I know how I get knives, too.
Enough! Enough! What is it you want? Gold? I've a few pieces on me. Take them. Take them and go.
It's not gold I seek, but information.
I know nothing.
You know William. Tell me how to reach him.
It's impossible. He meets with the king.
And when will the king be gone?
Today. But it won't help you. They're sure to argue, and then William will retire to lecture the soldiers. So it always goes. Richard berates William.
Also, if I'm honest,
William berates his
like,
men.
I could see the game better looking at my computer screen and the recording from there
Then I'll be
than I can
Not yet, I'm afraid.
see the game, you know, looking at my actual
What is it?
TV screen where I would normally, you know, look at when playing my Xbox. William will be distracted today by Richard's visit. Now, was there another interrogation along this side here? I'm not sure because I was distracted by that interrogation. Okay, you see, this... There's a bale of hay, which would imply that I could jump from there.
Go and
Or...
pray. Ask God for direction. If your heart is pure, He will.
Yeah, that's not showing up like an investigation, or like an interrogation. Investigation, interrogation, whatever.
A plague upon His people.
One's a subset of the other.
In peace to the Holy Land, to spread the message of
Can't
all
climb
the
up there.
world turned away. They refuse to accept Him as their Savior.
I really would like to get up to the top of this viewpoint, but the game does not seem to want to let me do that. Maybe somewhere around here? No. Ugh. Yeah, I can literally see the game better on my computer screen.
What is it that you want?
But it's also just slightly delayed,
Not listen to
looking at it that way.
poisonous words meant to sow the seeds of
Okay,
confusion.
tell you what.
You find yourself tempted. Go and pray. Ask God for direction. If your heart
Alright.
is pure, He will.
If I had a way of climbing up that side, that would be great.
Turned away from God.
But I'm not sure that that's actually possible.
Gather at our gates. But God is also merciful, and our past misdeeds may be forgotten. All we need do is ask. And so I say to you, repent. Lay down before Him and confess your sins. He will forgive. Such is His nature. And beg forgiveness we must. For only
Nope,
when
not
our
there.
hearts and minds are cleansed can victory be assured. The Saracens are routed at every turn.
I'm like, I'm not sure about this, but at this point I'm willing to try pretty much anything.
Now they retreat to the
See, yeah, no, that... Why? Why do you have so many faces of this building upon which I can partially climb,
matter of time, friends, before all the land
but I
is ours
can only get so far?
was meant to be.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Plague upon Saladin, a plague upon his people.
Okay, let me go back to what I was trying to do before, which was, you know, find something along here. No. No. Really? Why is there... Oh, but it was okay with that. Like, what the... I don't understand why it's like this. Can't climb up there either. Can't get up that high. This is... Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of stupid. Like... It should not be... I mean, based on how, you know, things like this have gone at other points in this game, it really should not be that difficult to climb up one stinking building. But here we are. Oh, sure. Now he'll, like, safely drop down.
I need food. I'm so hungry. Just a little money, I beg of you. Oh, please, sir. Have any money?
I don't think it'll let me... Well... I thought I tried the side already like this. Oh, that just got me back up to where I was before. Doggone it. Didn't mean to fall quite that far, but whatever. Okay. Maybe like this. But no, that... Why does it only go part way up? It makes no sense. Like... Why are you gonna have, you know, like, about 10 feet worth of climbing on a freaking 50-foot tall building? I don't know if that's actually anywhere near the ratio or an accurate estimate of the measurements, but... Like, seriously, I see no face of this building that seems suitable for climbing. And yet, there's a viewpoint, so there's gotta be a way. It's just completely ridiculous, nonsensical stuff like this that really eats at me in these games. Like, why? And I'm pretty sure I tried climbing up a side like this before, and it stopped about halfway. Or not even halfway. I don't know. And yet it puts that big old circle type thing there. A little bit higher up. Like practically teasing you. As if you should be able to climb up that. And get to that circle thing. And then, you know, pretty much be all set from there. Okay, yeah, I'll admit I am getting a little bit stubborn with this right now, but it just, I'm trying to understand what's going on here. But it seems that there is no way of understanding. Good golly, what the heck? Did I, like, get bit by a bug or something on my neck and not realize it? See, I would just look at my computer screen if there weren't a slight delay. See, now this looks like I should be able to climb up. Okay. But now I can't get up any further. No. try and climb like the middle of that support beam. Okay, can I? No, you stupid freaking game. What in the world made it think I wanted to do that? Ah. This is just pure aggravation at this point. What? None of this makes any freaking sense. This design is stupid. Can I climb the tree here? No. Bummer. There's like one of these windows out of every like 10 of them, maybe, that's climbable. Come on. I was able to get up there before, right? Okay, so what's the problem now? Why will it not let me go up any higher? And why the heck does it show things that I could potentially... Yeah. I tried that before, and it didn't work like that.
Come no further. Leave this place.
There's way too much about this that makes no sense. But... progress, finally. Hopefully I can climb this the rest of the way up. Good gravy. Most frustrating viewpoint in the game. At least so far. Definitely one of the more impressive ones. But frustrating as all get out. No, you did not. You absolute freaking moron. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Just, wow. Alright, where does it have me? Alright, well that's one of the few on the ground floor that I can climb. I'm not giving up on this yet. See, yeah. Why didn't it do that before?
This place is restricted. Be gone.
Okay. Back to here. Hopefully, it'll work the way it's supposed to this time and not have me just randomly freaking fall. Okay. For real. What the... Sorry. Felt like there was something... Might have been, like, crawling under my shirt. Still kind of feels that way a little bit, but I don't... There shouldn't actually be anything like that, so I'm a little confused. Anyway, okay. Let's keep going. No, what the f... All I did was let go of the right trigger. Because I thought it would help me with, like, getting around the thing there. Wow, this is being stupid.
When you have been exposed to the guards, break their line.
Apparently I had to still hold the right trigger. And press Y to synchronize. Because that makes perfect sense. The game is definitely revealing where it needs a little polish here. I don't... Well, maybe... Nope. This is the absolute dumbest, most frustrating thing in the entire flippin' game. It should not be this hard to accomplish. Of course, it's also made all the more frustrating by the fact of the just absolute glaring sunlight coming in to my apartment.
Come no further.
Oh, there was another guy there, and he totally just saw me kill that dude. And yet is doing nothing. Okay. One more time. Hopefully just one more time. Not letting go of right trigger. Because apparently I'm not allowed to. I'm also not going to try to, like, shift over to any other side of this thing. At least, not up at the top. Maybe, if I do it while I'm down a bit lower here, it'll let me just climb all the way up. Like this. And yeah. That's better. Good grief. Synchronize. I'm pretty sure I've spent like half an hour just on that. And a couple of other minor distractions around it. Anywho, okay. There's another pickpocket over here. That'll cover the third minimum investigation. That was a heck of a long way to fall. I know, because of falling and dying multiple times. So where is this pickpocket investigation thing?
Stand firm. Do not give up. Without our support, Richard and his men cannot
And if there are going to be more viewpoints like that in this area, then I'm not even so sure I'm going to want to do all of those in between my recordings. I generally like to fill out the map a little bit more, though, before getting into the assassination. Because, you know, then I have a better clue of where I'm going. And I don't have to wonder if I'm missing any of that. But I don't know, whatever. Pickpocketing is seemingly like on the other side of this building.
If you find yourself tempted, go and pray. Ask God for direction. If your heart
Maybe I can go this way.
Aren't you done complaining yet? That's all you do.
Maybe through here. Save citizen. Where? Oh. Back that way a little bit. Where's the citizen in need of saving? I am confusion.
The old man's gonna cry.
Or does it have to be inside there?
I'd leave if I were you before I really get out.
to be kind, Merch.
Yeah, okay, it's got to be inside here.
Bist kein Mensch. Dein Gott hat dich verlassen.
اغرب عن وجهي.
Komm zurück.
Okay,
Thank you, my
citizen
boy.
saved.
I only wish my sons were half as brave as you.
I figured I'd run into something like that
And
on the
know
way
what it
to
is
the
be a
pickpocketing,
true hero.
because there was one shown on the minimap, like, right next to it. Scholars, eh? Alright, where am I to do this pickpocketing? Probably somewhere over here.
What news?
Grim. I finished my
Okay.
scout. A direct assault won't work.
What's the trouble?
Once I get this out of the way, I'll
Got
probably
them
finish
all
the
over
recording.
fortress. And no easy way to reach them. They'd pick us off before we'd made it 10 feet inside.
You've kept a record, yes?
Aye, I've marked their positions on a map.
Bring it to the others. No doubt they'll have a use for it.
Very well. I'll go at once.
Stay strong, brother.
Yes, and you.
Okay, that's the guy I'm gonna pickpocket. Okay. Investigation complete. Acquired map which holds the position of Williams archers. Okay. And now I can go back to the bureau. I'm like right near a viewpoint.
Who did this?
Nope. Can't get up that way. And there's a flag over here. Ooh, hey, scaffolding. That's usually helpful for climbing up things. Yeah. Well, this is looking like a much more manageable viewpoint than the previous one. Oh, man. Anywho, okay.
It's forbidden for you to be here.
Okay, he did. Dang. Only one more objective to get another meter on the sync bar. Okay. I think that'll do it for this particular recording. I might fill out some of the other viewpoints in between. But otherwise, I'm just going to head back to the Bureau and start the assassination mission. Okay. Honestly, most of the map is kind of revealed already. I might go to this viewpoint to try and get some stuff back this way. Of course, I could also, like, if I need to see more as I'm on the way to something, I can just, like, climb the viewpoints before I get there. Like, I don't have to do that before I go to the Bureau. But especially since I'm only one thing away from getting another meter on the sync bar, or another bar on the sync meter, whatever. Oh, come on. There's a ladder right freaking there. Okay. basically, since I'm already pretty close to increasing the synchronization meter, I figure I might as well go ahead and do one more thing. And that was a bad idea.
Richard and his men cannot hope to free the Holy Land. We must do all we
But hey,
can to aid them in their cause. Tend to your fields,
having the
to the wounded. Pray for those who sacrifice
having the sync meter
service to the Lord.
with as many bars as it does, some falls like that aren't exactly a big issue. Could I go up this side? No. I probably have to actually lift myself up here and then do more climbing. Yeah. Okay. Synchronize. Five of 11 viewpoints in the rich district of Acre. Okay. That did reveal another investigation, but that's an informer. Those ones usually take a while. I think I'm just gonna head on my way back to the Bureau. Possibly saving this citizen and hitting up another viewpoint along the way.
Richard's army. He is graced by God.
DNA synchronization augmented.
Friend, before all the land is ours once more, just as it was meant to be.
Oh, phooey. So I'm at 16 bars on the sync meter right now. Oh, man. Alright, can I possibly climb up this building and, you know, get to the rooftops, potentially increasing the speed at which I'm able to move about the town. Okay, that was dumb. Oh my gosh, Altair, what are you doing? Oh, the citizen that needs saving is just down here. If only I had like an aerial takedown.
Thief! This'll teach you not to steal.
Why are you doing this? What have I done?
Die, thief!
Please help me!
أغرب عن وجهي.
I will make you now!
That one really long, exaggerated attack of his actually made it harder for me to counter. Or at least threw off the timing of my counter.
Fortune favors me today. God only knows what foul deeds those men intended to commit. Good of you to arrive when you did, stranger. I'll see to it that my husband hears of your bravery.
More vigilantes. Okay. However, I wish to continue heading... Okay, well... I'll go for that viewpoint next. because that's kind of along the way.
Leave, peasant, before I make...
Not trying to bother you, just moving along the rooftops here. I shouldn't have made that jump.
You've no reason to be here. Leave now.
My reason for being up here is quick traversal of the town. Oh, and getting to this viewpoint here. And huzzah. More synchronizing. I do wonder a little bit how far I could have the sync meter at this point. Because I could totally have... I mean, I totally could have done more investigations at certain points. There are other citizens in some places that I haven't saved and other things like that. So I would figure I could at least have another bar on the meter at this point. Okay, going over here to the bureau. And that is where I will resume recording. After I maybe, like, get up and move around for a little bit. Oh, man. Or at least, like, kind of... I don't know. Is it weird that I'm still, like, kind of sort of waking up? Air quote. Feel like I need to just move around a little bit to help in that process. Anyway. Maybe eventually stuff like that will get worked into my streams. I might, oh, you know what? While I'm up and moving around, can totally turn off the interior light here. Getting plenty of light from outside. Thank you very much. But yeah, I might, if, you know, I can set up any sort of, like, viewer redemption reward things, might start integrating stuff where it's, like, people can roll dice to have various things happen. I know a lot of channels will have different, like, you know, oh, get up and stretch, hydrate, other stuff like that. If I can, like, randomize those things, I'd really enjoy that, just to further push, you know, the theme of randomness within the channel. But anyway, just a thought. But I don't think I could do any of that until I hit Twitch affiliate or something like that anyway. I don't know. Because, like, every channel that I watch, there's, like, at least viewer points that can be earned and whatnot. So, like, am I just following all affiliated channels already? Or, I don't know. Well, whatever. Anyway, on with the recording. Alright. I'm back at the Assassin's Bureau. I did reveal a couple of other investigations that I could have done, but I really didn't feel like it. Also did another viewpoint back this way, just so I could have a better idea of what's going on back in this corner. Because this was like all just darkened out before. Anyway.
Altair, what brings you back so soon?
I've done as asked and armed myself with knowledge.
Speak, and I will judge.
William's host is large, and many men call him master. But he's not without enemies. He and King Richard do not see eye to eye.
It's true, they've never been close.
This works to my advantage. Richard's visit has upset him. Once the king has left, William will retreat into his fortress to brood. He'll be distracted. That's when I will strike.
You're sure of this?
As sure as I can be. And if things change, I'll adapt.
Then I give you leave to go. End the life of Montferrat, that we may call this city free.
I'll return when the deed's been done.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
Strike after William meets with Richard. He'll be distracted by his meeting. Okay. Now where, pray tell, is this meeting? Okay, right in that area that I revealed with the last viewpoint that I did. Good to know. May or may not end up saving a citizen along the way, we'll see. But I'm not going to, like, specifically highlight any of that. I'm just going to follow the waypoint that it gives me relative to, the actual assassination target. So William's the one we're out to assassinate here, right? Because Richard's the king, and it's William that's going to be upset, or at least distracted by the visit from King Richard. Oh. Picking up some more flags, at least. That's a good thing. Right? Doesn't exactly help me a ton in the grand scheme of things, but oh well. Were I going completionist, it would. Because that would give me a whole lot more to do then. Oh, let me back up. Tell you what. I'll go over here, and then like that. No, I'm not trying to.
You have no business here. Leave.
Shit. Well, he did. Probably. That seems to have created just a bit of a distraction.
Stop. You must not.
Come on. Let me up.
Come no further.
It's kind of what I figured it would have done in the first place. Alright, where am I going now? I guess over this way. I'm getting kind of close. Oh, yeah.
3,000 souls, William. I was told they would be held as prisoners and used to barter for the release of our men. The Saracens would not have honored their end of the bargain. You know this to be true. I did you a favor.
Oh, yes. A great favor indeed. Now our enemies will be that much stronger in their convictions. Fight that much harder.
I know our enemy well. They will not be emboldened, but filled with fear.
Tell me, how is it you know the intentions of our enemies so well? You who forsake the field of battle to play at politics?
I did what was right, what was just.
You swore an oath to uphold the work of God, William. But that is not what I see here. No. I see a man who's trampled it.
Your words are most unkind, my liege. I would hope I might have earned your trust by now.
You are Acre's regent, William, set to rule in my stead. How much more trust is required? Perhaps you'd like my crown.
You missed the point. But this is nothing new.
Much as I'd like to waste my day trading words with you, I've a war to fight. We'll have to continue this another time.
Do not let me delay you then, Your Grace. I fear there will be no place for men like him in the New World. Send word that I wish to speak with the troops. We must ensure that everyone is doing their part. Warn them that any negligence would be severely punished. I'm in no mood to be trifled with today.
Yes, my lord.
The rest of you, follow me.
Okay, so he's going on in there. I doubt I'll be able to get in that way. Or will I? Okay. But now, where do I go from here? There's a ladder. Save citizen. I'm really not in the mood to be saving citizens.
Prévenez-moi si vous l'apercevez.
Heed well what I have to say.
Okay, I'm kind of close.
Je parie qu'il nous observe en ce moment.
I come from speaking with the king and the new We stand accused of failing in our duties. He does not recognize the value of our contributions to the cause. Peace! Peace! Hold your tongue! Aye, he speaks falsely.
You've no
but his
reason to
words
be
are
here.
not without
Leave
some
now.
merit.
You're lying now.
Crud. That's a problem, isn't it? Maybe not.
Slack and lazy. Never.
We are committed.
Why do you say this? I see the way you trade.
Oh, jeez.
You lack conviction and focus. You gossip and gamble. Tasks set to you are left unfulfilled or poorly performed. This ends today. I will not suffer further degradation at his hands.
Come no
For
further.
whether or not you see it,
You were not allowed to be.
Oh, he sees me. Dang it.
you just leave here alive.
Oh my gosh. What the heck? Hey, okay. Well, I got the assassination in there, even if it wasn't quite as stealthy as I was hoping for.
What do you know of my work?
I know
I think I should have just acted a little quicker earlier on there.
Your son Conrad.
For Conrad, my son is an arse, unfit to lead his host, let alone a kingdom. And Richard, the Ancien is no better, blinded as he is by faith in the insubstantial. Acre does not belong to either of them.
Then who?
The city belongs to its people.
How can you claim to speak for the citizens? You stole their food, disciplined them without mercy. Forced them into service under you.
Everything I did to prepare them for the new world. Stole their food? No. I took possession so that when the lean times came, it might be rationed properly. Look around. My district is without crime, save those committed by you and your ilk. And as for the conscription, they were not being trained to fight. They were being taught the merits of order and discipline. These things are hardly evil.
No matter how noble you believe your intentions, these acts are cruel and cannot continue.
We'll see how sweet they are, the fruits of your labors. You do not free the cities as you believe, but rather damn them. And in the end, you'll have only yourself to blame. You who speak of good intentions.
I'm still gonna have a bunch of fighting to do, though. Like, there's seriously a ton of guards here. Is there also a straight-up Templar in the mix? Like, this dude right here that I just countered. Is that a Templar? Well, fortunately, I'm good enough at the combat that it isn't too much of an issue. Given how many, you know, bars I have on the sync, on the sync meter. They're actually occasionally getting hurt by each other too, which is interesting. I've only lost maybe a couple points on the meter there. That went down a little differently than I expected, but whatever. Okay. Another one gone. There's still a bunch more, though. I'm seeing at least 5 others here already. Or still. I don't know. This is probably not the way you're quote-unquote supposed to go about doing this, but whatever. That wasn't even the one I wanted to target. I was trying to attack the one that was, you know, basically bragging. How in the... And some of these guys are countering me now? What the? No. I'm like, why did it disengage from the enemies? Okay. They're gone. Good golly. Now it's just a matter of getting back to the Bureau and being anonymous when I do so. Nope. Running away. Running away. Why would you do that? Hiding here for a bit so as to become anonymous. Okay. I'm gonna climb up here, and then up here. Oh, good grief, really? Okay. Oh, hey, viewpoint. What the? No. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm holding up. Why are you going down? Oh, come on, climb faster, please. You son of a biscuit. Will you be quiet? Come on. Counterattacks aren't exactly working the way I would think they should either right now. Okay. If you were going to leave me alone, then you should have just left me alone. Don't, like, come back 2 seconds later and try to fight me again. Really? Freaking overhang is causing me problems? Ladder. Guy in the way of the ladder. Oh my gosh, no! Go up the ladder, Altair! Quit making this harder on yourself. Ain't no way in heck I'm trying to climb back up the flipping cathedral thing again. Why did it do that? I wanted to jump to the next building, not all the way down to the street. There's a little bit of clunkiness to this game sometimes. Alright, at this point, I'm just running. Everywhere I go, I'm running. Okay, the Bureau seems to be mostly in this direction. No, well, not specifically the direction I just jumped, but kind of in a general this way. Okay, that was quick. Oh, phooey. Whatever. I'm not trying to access that memory at this time. Really? I get impeded by that tiny little jut out. I can't get in there just yet because I'm not anonymous. I need to make myself anonymous. Suppose I could do that over here. Assuming a guard doesn't see me half a second before I get in there. Like, come on, man. Seriously? Seriously. Okay. Okay. I swear if this dude winds up causing me trouble again right now. Okay, good. Into the bureau. Alright.
What news?
William of Montferrat is dead, and with him his plans for betrayal.
You've done well keeping Acre from his hands.
But why now, when the Crusaders require unity most? Could have waited.
Waited for what? For Richard to return and discover his schemes? No. It was the perfect time for him to strike.
Strange. I was sure he meant to take Acre for Conrad, yet he claimed this was not his plan.
You cannot trust the words of a snake, which even in death produces venom.
I should discuss this with Al-Muallim.
Yes, my friend. Make haste for Masyaf. I am sure he is eager for news.
Okay.
Fast forwarding memory to a more recent one.
So, anyway, that takes care of the assassination there. Target has been eliminated. Return to Al-Muallim. So many things about achievements that aren't saving because of problems with cloud storage stuff.
Get up. Whatever you say, Doc.
Hey. We're back with Desmond.
I'm ending the session. No, I'll be right there. You're sure about this? Yes. No. Everything's Denver. I don't see how he could... Of course. I understand. You're in a lot of trouble, Mr. Miles.
What's his problem?
They're coming for you.
Who's coming for me?
Assassins.
Hey, I had nothing to do with this.
Sounds like they're mounting some kind of rescue attempt. Guess you're more important than you realized.
Man, things just keep getting weirder and weirder around here.
It was bound to happen.
What do you mean?
That little fight your ancestors started during the Third Crusade, it never ended. You're being held by Templars.
Vidic's a Templar?
There's no way you could have known. They hide it so well. But to answer your question, Vidic works for them. We all do. Abstergo is their company.
I thought Templars were old dudes with funny hats who sat around drinking beer, plotting world domination with, like, the lizard people.
No. Except the part about world domination, I guess. Look, Desmond, it's complicated. Half the stuff they say about the Templars comes from crazy tinfoil hat-wearing nut jobs. The other half is misinformation intentionally produced by the Templars themselves.
But they are the bad guys, right?
If there's one thing I've learned since I started working here, it's that there's no such thing. It's all so relative. I guess the best way to explain it is, what they want is good. But the way they're going about it, it's bad. Really bad.
What are they trying to do?
Now she's getting a phone call.
Lucy.
Yes.
Miss Stillman, I need to speak with you. Get up here, now!
On my way, Doctor. I'm sorry, Desmond. I have to go. You should turn in for the night. The answers to all of your questions are right in front of you. You just have to know where to look.
Oh, really? Right in front of me, you say? I'm like, was she waiting for me to talk with her? I guess not.
Please, Desmond. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't leave. And I can't leave until you're in your room.
Oh, fine. There. I'm in my room. Happy now? Also, dude didn't pull the covers over him or nothing. No doctor coming in to wake him up this time either. Interesting.
Missed you this morning, Doc.
Get in the Animus.
Jeez. Okay. Getting in the Animus.
Ready to get to work, Desmond?
Wouldn't you have like a massive case of bed sores
You can use stealth
after all this laying
to
down?
distract
I'm
you
just saying,
from
like...
pushing somebody off a roof or performing a stealth assassination.
That's
Come in,
kind of how that stuff
I
works.
trust you're well rested, ready for your remaining trials.
I am, but I'd speak with you first. I have questions.
Ask them. I'll do my best to answer.
The merchant king of Damas murdered the nobles who ruled his city. Majd-ad-Din in Jerusalem used fear to force his people into submission. I suspect William meant to murder Richard and hold Acre with his troops. These men were meant to aid their leaders. Instead, they chose to betray them. What I do not understand is why.
Is the answer not obvious? The Templars desire control. Each man, as you've noted, wanted to claim their cities in the Templar name, that the Templars themselves might rule the Holy Land and eventually beyond. But they cannot succeed in their mission.
Why is that?
Their plans depend upon the Templar treasure, the Peace of Eden. But we hold it now, and they cannot hope to achieve their goals without it.
What is this treasure?
It is temptation.
It's just a piece of silver.
Look at it.
What am I supposed to see?
This piece of silver cast out Adam and Eve. It turned staves into snakes, parted and closed the Red Sea. Eris used it to start the Trojan War, and with it a poor carpenter turned water into wine.
It seems rather plain for all the power you claim it has. How does it work?
He who holds it commands the hearts and minds of whoever looks upon it, whoever tastes of it, as they say.
Then Gagne's men?
An experiment. Herbs used to simulate its effects, to be ready for when they held it.
Talel supplied them. Tamir equipped them. They were preparing for something. But what?
War.
And the others, the men who ruled the cities, they meant to gather up their people, make them like Gagne's men.
The perfect citizens, the perfect soldiers, a perfect world.
Robert de Sable must never have this back.
So long as he and his brothers live, they will try.
Then they must be destroyed.
Which is what I've had you doing. There are 2 more Templars who require your attention. One in Acre, known as Sibran. One in Damas, called Jubair. Visit with the Bureau leaders. They'll instruct you further.
As you wish.
Be quick about it. No doubt Robert de Sable is made nervous by our continued success. His remaining followers will do their best to expose you. They know you come, the man in the white hood. They'll be looking for you.
They won't find me. I'm but a blade in the crowd.
Here, my gift to you, in gratitude for the good work you've done.
So there's only 2 more now. There's not a 3rd assassination in Jerusalem as of yet. New ability gain defense break. Ooh. That sounds handy. But, so here's the thing. If the item he just described truly has the powers that he just attributed to it, meaning that whoever holds it controls the hearts of those who see it, something to that effect. Wouldn't that mean he could essentially be doing that to Altair? Couldn't he sort of, like, be, you know, controlling Altair with it in a way? I'm not saying he's lying, but... Also, all that stuff with Desmond, about, you know, further conflict between the Assassins and the Templars.
It seems my students do not fully understand what it is to wield a blade. Perhaps you could show them what you know.
I would like to try the defense breaks and see how that works. Defense break, press X right after a step to break your enemy's defense, like right after a step. Oh.
Perfect. The work of a master.
Okay.
And that, my students, is how we all should fight.
So, do I specifically have to not be, do I specifically have to not be guarding in order to step? Because if I'm guarding, it would have me, like, try to dodge attacks instead of taking any steps. So I could see that as a means of, hastening the combat, but also making it a little more risky if indeed you have to actually, you know, let your guard down in order to, you know, break their defenses. Which honestly seems like the trade-off that should come with something like that. At least in my opinion. Alright. Running to the outskirts. Actually, what I'm running to is the horses. So, running to the horses. Anyway. And, galloping doesn't quite work with the pattern of my little ditty there, so... The closest I could get would be, like, trotting. Trotting to the outskirts. I don't know. That still doesn't sound as catchy. Anyway, so... Oh yeah, I do seem to recall that I also, like, got all the viewpoints in the main kingdom map. I was just in Acre, so I guess we'll pick things up in Damascus.
Should you enter a fistfight, guards will not interfere, but drawing your weapon will turn them hostile.
Huh. So, guards don't get involved in fist fights, but pretty much anything else they will. Interesting. Alright, well, we have reached the outskirts of Damascus, and I think that's a decent spot to stop recording. Don't know if there's really anything else that I want to do in particular during the live stream either. I mean, I'm not, like, short on time per se, but also like, I don't know. Oh, there is some other extra stuff that I could do in terms of climbing viewpoints and saving citizens and that kind of stuff. So I could do that for a little while to kind of, you know, extend the live stream a bit more. Although I'm still quite a number of tasks away from further augmenting the sync bar meter thing. But still, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, there's at least enough for a full meter or full bar on that meter. I don't know. Words, what do they mean?
God save him. He's gone mad.
Okay, you definitely can't climb all the way up like this. Could climb over here, though. Maybe up further from here? No? Okay, fine. Drop down onto that. And then I do a little jumping across here. And hey, no issues with the guards. Okay. There's a citizen to save over in this direction. And at this point, I'm just messing around, so I don't mind, you know, a loss of stealthiness.
Make room. Your life ends now.
Okay, that was easy enough.
Thank you. I'll find a way to repay this kindness, I swear it.
Okay, another citizen saved, more vigilantes gained. Okay, now for the viewpoint, which is over this way. Climbing up the building here in order to hopefully elude any guards that might have been alerted to what I just did there. Oh, I'm like literally at the viewpoint. So I wonder if it's only giving me the 2 assassination missions for now because, like, the last one in Jerusalem is outright going to be, like, the final thing. I don't know. But anyway. 4 of 9 in the poor district of Damascus. Okay. So I'll head over that way, save another citizen, then come down here to the viewpoint, and then just kind of keep going around like that. Damascus map updated. No kidding. Do. Where is the citizen? Oh. There's the citizen that needs saving. Okay, well that's not gonna work now. Fine. Yeah, so I can't take a step while I'm guarding. Okay.
Good you came along when you did. Another minute and they would have made off with you. I owe you my...
Citizen saved. 6 out of 12 in the poor district. Another viewpoint here. Let's go. I would like to climb this building and head over this way. Okay. Viewpoint is very close. Seemingly, this is the viewpoint. So, I don't know if there's something about this time of year, but I've had a recent resurgence of sorts of people trying to convince me to read the Quran. Like, I mean, it was within the past month I had somebody in a live stream trying to get me to do that. I also, very recently, as of this stream, had somebody comment on a YouTube short video of mine, something to the same effect, as a way to supposedly learn more about Jesus and Mary and all of that.
You want something? You are die! It's the death!
Nope. Alright, 3 for 3 on counterattacks. Make it 4 for 4.
Good you came along when you did. Another minute and they would have made off with me.
Seriously, once you have the counterattack, and you have any sort of inkling of what you're doing, the combat in this game really is not that bad. It's not that difficult, I should say. Although it does get worse the larger the group that you're dealing with. Where to go from here? Maybe just on top of this building. Yeah. Is this a viewpoint? It seems like this might be a viewpoint. How do I scale it? No. Odd. Aha! Literally only gives you one spot upon which you can climb. Okay, you know what? Didn't expect the resistance there, but whatever. Dude's dead now. Oh, man. 6 of 9 viewpoints. As things stand, I figure I can at least get this stream past 3 hours. Maybe after that I'll wrap it up and move on with some other things that I would like to do today.
Yes, come. Let me show you everything I have.
You know, more boring things like laundry and, you know, things of that sort.
Die, please.
I also have other cleaning that I really need to do at some point before too long. There's another citizen to save right near here. Very near here. 7 of 9 viewpoints in the poor district. Alright, where is the citizen that I can save? I seem to only be getting further away now. Ah. Probably somewhere over here. Yeah. And hiya. And hiya. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Citizen saved. What the... Okay. Can I talk to the citizen now?
Thank you. I'll find a way to repay this kindness, I swear.
Okay. Meanwhile... Oh, come on. As decent as I am at the fighting, I don't want to spend all day doing that. Alright, while I'm here... there's another citizen to save. In this direction. Okay, I'm anonymous again. So I'm not automatically in trouble before I even get started with this. Okay. Okay. Talk with the citizen.
Long when you did. Another minute and they would have made off with me.
I will say, I'm progressing through this quite quickly. Hello. I got a flag. Saracen's flag. 11 out of 100.
I've decided to reduce prices on everything. Come.
Yeah, it would take a very concerted effort on my part to actually get all the flags.
Yes, come. Let me show you everything I have.
Really just in even one place, never mind in the entire game. Okay, come on. What are you doing? There's clearly other stuff to grab and climb onto there. Anywho, not quite what I meant to do. But whatever. Okay, so now I have 10 throwing knives again. I'm not sure if that was just because I was, you know, talking with Al-Mualim again, or if I actually got that many back from fist fights.
Please, someone do something.
Okay, come on. Jump down. There we go.
That will cost you your life. Go away.
No, you go away.
Pay for your sins.
Okay. Talk with the citizen I've saved.
All the city will know of your sacrifice.
10 of 12 saved within the poor district. Where am I going next? I guess this viewpoint here. Which is not in that direction. It is over here. Seriously, it's like sometimes the controls just say you have stopped climbing. Even when all I've done is just hold, you know, the same buttons and control sticks and whatnot in the same directions. 8 of 9 viewpoints scaled. Okay, so we got another viewpoint here. And then another citizen to save. And doing both of those will further augment the sync bar meter. Bar meter gauge thing. Whatever the heck it's technically called. Anyway. Okay. Deep doo. I do wonder to some effect if I might eventually want to increase the speed at which I'm recording videos again, especially for gaming stuff. Because after I finish this, I'm thinking I'll get into the Kingdom Hearts games. And ideally, finish all those up before Kingdom Hearts 4 releases. And yet, I'm hearing rumors of a possible late 2024 release date. Although it's seemingly a more common thought that it won't actually release until late next year. Or, sorry, early next year. Maybe late this year, more likely early next year, is what I'm hearing. Or reading, more accurately. Where's the citizen?
That will cost you your life. Dirty thief, I'll have your hand for that.
Saving another citizen. And stabbing these guys in the gut. Am I just doing the little sing-songy stuff because I'm, like, somewhat bored? Like, what am I even... I don't know. How does my brain work? Okay, so yeah, I'm now at 18 bars on the sync meter. Yes, climb up the ladder. Continuing to run across the rooftops. And there's a citizen to save right near here. That's not exactly how I planned on making my entrance, but sure, whatever. Okay, be gone. And that does it for that district of Damascus, anyway. All citizens were saved, and... Oh, hey, vigilantes. Where should I go next? I could do a bunch of stuff in the Rich District. But right now, I'm mostly just trying to evade my pursuers. Oh, come on. Let me up. There we go. Hiding. Okay. Ooh, hey, text message. That might say something related to my plans for the day. Sorry, hang on a sec. What? I was a little bit confused by that message at first. And also, no, that is not related to my possible plans for the day. Okay, you know what? As much as I maybe could keep going, I think I might just kind of leave it off at that for the day. Because, yeah. I could do with a little less time streaming and a little more time working on other things. Especially with, you know, the other stuff that I'm doing as of late. Actually, real quick, let me just switch over to this view while I'm talking about stuff that's not so much related to playing the game. But, yeah, so with trying to figure out, you know, possible remote work situation and, you know, needing to make time to do that, spending a little less time in the stream helps leave me time to then do other editing, other kinds of things as well that really need to be done. So then once I get that stuff done, I then have more time to potentially look into that. Which I might be expediting the process of figuring that out here in the near future, because what I thought was going to be a situation with my, like, paid time off at work seems to maybe be a little different than I thought it was going to be. In the short version of that is I thought I was going to have more, like, vacation time carryover, but potentially because of how much sick time I had stocked up, and the way that they, like, clear out or reset or whatever time off at the end of each year, it seems like instead of keeping the vacation time and, you know, cutting back more of the sick time that I had stocked up, it seems like they left more of the sick time and cut back all the vacation time that I had. So, and considering I don't use my sick time much, and the fact that I can't use that for extended absences like I would vacation time, yeah. Rather than potentially waiting until, like, late May or whatever, using stocked up vacation time for a family trip, and then coming back and leaving my full-time job, I may end up just leaving the full-time job sooner. Since I won't have, like, as much vacation time. Because I thought I would have, like... Well, okay, so I did have about 25 hours of that saved up as of just a couple days ago. But then in the, like, year-end, you know, cutting back on and compensating for excess time off, which there's... My understanding was they're supposed to leave a combination of sick time and vacation time, but the whole collection of it is not to exceed 80 hours. So anything above that at the, like, year end or whatever you want to call it, they're supposed to cut it down to 80 in total. I thought that was going to be a mix of sick time and vacation time, but no. What I've most recently seen on my record was they completely got rid of all the vacation time and cut the sick time down to 80 and just left it at that, rather than leaving a mix of the two that totaled out to 80 hours. So, I don't know. Anyway, I will probably, as soon as I reasonably can, try and talk to either my manager or the guy in HR and see if that's the way that it's supposed to be. And if that is how it's supposed to be, then, yeah, I might expedite my exit plan. Because then I'm not going to have enough vacation time stocked up to cover the full length, anywhere near the full length of the trip that I figured I would take to see my family in late May for my little sister's graduation. And with that not being the case, and the fact that I can't use sick time for that, I am probably then going to take a couple of days here and there, using my sick time to give myself some preview days of what a full day of the remote work would look like. And then, assuming that seems all okay and, you know, like it would be reasonable to shift to that as my primary income source, then I would leave my current job. But anyway, what the heck kind of message did I just get from Twitch? Talking about some sort of TwitchCon thing. Meh. Anyway. But anyway, all that being said, that was the explanation for maybe wanting to leave more, you know, time off stream to, you know, try and look into that some more and or get other things done to then later leave more time to look into the remote work stuff. Anywho, it's enough rambling on about the details of that. All that to say, I think I'll be wrapping up the stream here for today. Let me go ahead and find somebody to raid over on Twitch. And then I will probably be done for the day. So, like, I usually like to try and mix up who I'm raiding. There's a couple of people at the same time, though. I do debate a little bit about rating certain people a bit more frequently as a greater show of support for them. I don't know. In any case, all right. I think I figured out what I'm going to do with this. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another live stream. Friendly reminder, I do these on... Well, I do streams like these on Thursday mornings. I also regularly stream Saturday evenings. The timing of that varies a little bit. But generally by 7 p.m. on Saturdays is when I'm starting those streams. And those are just kind of chill, take it easy, play a game and chat kind of streams. Not so much like these ones that are kind of halfway recording sessions for later edited YouTube videos. But anywho, okay. So, that's it for me. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another stream. Or whatever the case is. Till next time, stay cool, everybody.